Hello, it's a silent oracle here. Today I'm doing a self-reflection for the next few months that are gonna come until December. And I thought it'd be fun to share on how I go about it. I pull a card for the whole 6 months or whatever months are left. So in this case, it's from August to December. And then I pull the August card, September card, October, November, and December. Okay, the way I go about my self-reflection is if you don't know any knowledge about the tarot, you can also use use any self-reflection cards that you have that can help speak to you. So let's go ahead and do that actually. All right, so for the main, maybe you could call it the main lesson, main theme for the rest of the year to help you self-reflect on, that will help you improve in whatever it is that you want to be working on at the time, at the moment right now, or anything that maybe you should focus on. So the main card for your self-reflection is waiting for the phone to ring. For August, what we see. September, the path. October, her big day. November, the capsule. And December, Kingdom of Old. Okay, so for each card of the month, I like to write down any predictions that I might see happening for those months. And also any connections that might be there, like the big day that lands on my birthday month. Many of us could be getting an important call in that month that makes it our big day, right? I also see that by November, you guys will be creating a sort of time capsule. I'll explain to you guys a little bit about it later. For now, just know that you guys are able to use oracles and tarot, whatever it is that you have available to you, to do something like this. Choose whatever decks call to you. You can use different cards for the center and different cards for exterior. It all just depends on you. Since we pulled some tarot in the beginning, let's go ahead and go with the tarot. If I were to read this, I want to pay attention to how I'm communicating with myself. So what's the first thing that pops into my head when I see this? Emotionally, maybe there's something that is maybe not feeling like it's showing up. You're wondering maybe when something is going to be birthed, because I'm seeing the stork here. And the negative talk could be on how you feel about your progress, and realizing, okay, so the main thing that I'm getting out of this is that there will be a need to make sure that you constantly bring this new Ace of Swords, which is this new idea, constantly bringing up the fact that you gotta continue to pursue something that you're interested in, that is going to give you the 10 of Cups feeling. This could be with a partner or in your career. I'm getting the sense that it's career based, because of the focus on in August is the Queen of Pentacles, and that you know, the strength is needed throughout these next few months. Emotionally, you might not feel as great as you probably would love to, but remember that that's a mindset. You can try to remember how to give yourself a lot of self-love, and fill your cup in many different ways whenever you start worrying about the projects that you're working on, to remind yourself and shift the perspective, and start going into action in the things that you see potential 10 of cups with, even if maybe you know you can sway back and forth at times from this 10 of feeling like you're going to achieve this 10 of cups, or when is this 10 of cups going to come. You're gonna work on this throughout the 6 months. Well, at least that's how I'm interpreting it. And so the main card is the Queen of Cups. She's very loving, nurturing. She's got her cup full and plenty to give. In the reverse, her you can say that there's an imbalance. There's a need to be the Queen of Cups, to bring in the Queen of Cups along with your Queen of Pentacle vibe. You're seeing the higher perspective. You're seeing what you want, but you are going to need to bring in some strength to get you there, and a lot of mind shifting, a lot of self-talk, working on the self-talk. And this is why I love doing self-reflections, because it helps with self-talk. So hopefully a lot of you start taking action towards these empowering ways of talking to yourself. And making sure that you're doing a lot of the self-care needed to get you through the months to come. Stop focusing too much on the future, because you're gonna, I could see that you're just gonna feel a little bit more needing to put a little bit more strength into you taking action. So while you're working on your Pentacle, on these projects, because of the main card here, your main focus to give yourself a lot of love could be, for example, when you're doing the meditations or whatever, if you're working on meditations or not, that is one way that to give yourself a lot of self-love, and giving yourself time to feel your body, focus on body healing. This woman here is holding onto a light, focusing on maybe this could be like a hypnosis sort of meditation, by playing a video if you're finding it hard to meditate, making sure that you can feel each meditation that you're working on, even if it's not a mental journey, even if you're not communicating in any way, you're not getting any downloads, you're not getting anything, it doesn't matter. Focus on your body and holding on to the moment, the present moment. I feel like you're going to be getting a lot of warmth during this time to help turn this Queen of Hearts right side up, so that the coldness that has reached her, it's kind of like the Queen of Swords. Something has probably turned her a little bit icy and has turned her back on maybe a few people in her life, and maybe that's been maybe that's why some of this energy of needing to constantly reinforce and push yourself towards this potential 10 of cups that you see happening, and you really have to bring in a lot of strength to get yourself through it, because you're kind of feeling a little icy, emotionally shutting yourself down, not letting yourself feel maybe too happy or excited. Maybe there's a lot to be sad about right now, and you haven't really allowed yourself to feel it these last few days, maybe last few weeks, and so this could be your guides, your angels, whatever you believe in, saying that they can come in and bring you some soul healing. Another thing, because it came up recently too, I wanted to bring up that sometimes you could be, when you're meditating, you can be expecting to hear from the other world, and the thing is, it doesn't really work that way all the time. not even for me, it hasn't worked that way. uh, there's points in your life that you're constantly having communication, and there's times in your life that um, you're seeking for something, but it's not the right time to communicate for whatever reason. So if your intentions are to communicate and it's not coming through, uh, don't put too much pressure on yourself in thinking that this is the way this has to happen in order for you to feel better or to overcome something. It doesn't work that way. At least, like I said, it didn't work that way for me. A lot of the times it's nice to have guidance from others, um, because they can uplift us when maybe there's a self-talk within us isn't really that great. um, and and really, when we communicate, it's try to just have more intentions of you just spending time and making some time to talk to God, and or the universe, or whatever you believe in. um, Personally, I believe in God, and when I make an effort to speak to him, I don't expect him to talk back to me. I don't expect. There was sometimes in the beginning when I started, I really felt like I needed him back in my life, that I was like, "Wow, you said you were gonna come back one day. Well, I need you right now." And the thing is, that he wouldn't show up, and I wouldn't get the guidance. I was like in a dead space for like forever. And the thing about that time, those years of being apart from having this connection, um, was that I had to learn how to live in this world and learn what I want from it, learn to want to be a part of it, and also within these last few years, I even learned even more how to communicate and learn how the self talk, to do better self talk. Because even though the last time I did learn about, how the music is influencing me and all this stuff, I was literally cutting all the stuff out. I was watching a lot of um, movies that were more gentle, more uh, something that was speaking to me more at the time. And even with music, I was cutting out a lot of the stuff that really had no meaning, at least not for me. And for years, like, those are things that I really worked on and I strengthened on without. It was just something that happened naturally. In these last 4 years, um, I learned more about self-talk, and I've learned more about affirmations. I've learned more about a lot of things that help me to propel me forward, to keep going, to believe, and not give up. And so sometimes when we want to connect to the other side, ask ourselves, what are our intentions of why we want that? Whatever those reasons are we kind of like in this mindset of demanding, or just allowing it to just be, allowing yourself to just feel your words that you're saying? Do you mean whatever it is that you say? Like when you pray, what are you saying? And how are you putting it into feelings? Because just like the Queen of Cups here, when she's icy, she might say something, but she's not really feeling it. And when you communicate with the other side, I noticed that there's so much feelings that go into it. What weight does my words have? And so hopefully, um, this can help you just be comfortable with that communication that you're having on the other side, just allowing it to be enough that you are starting to communicate, that you are talking, and that you are making this space in your heart, in your soul, in your little bubble that you create when you're alone in your room, or wherever it is that you go, and you create this beautiful space where you let yourself feel it all, let yourself talk, let yourself embrace what it is to actually have an internal voice that just sometimes doesn't say anything but feels a lot. And letting yourself also focus on your body to help your body and you to communicate better with each other so that you can begin to start feeling better if ever you feel yourself feeling unwell. And so those are moments to be grateful for. Those are moments to just feel good about. Sometimes maybe we're thinking that we're gonna get some answers, some solutions, and we do definitely get answers when we pray and when we talk to God, and sometimes they're very unexpectedly. I've learned throughout my life that some of them are internally, and actually we could get external messages. So if you are getting external messages, be grateful that you are, because those didn't start happening in my life. At least I didn't pay attention to them until these last 4 or 5 years, I believe, where the external messages were extremely obvious and they're very consistent. And so I'm aware that many people are starting to get external confirmations in the world, um, and don't dismiss those as not being enough, because I know that in the beginning I was used to connecting internally when I was younger, and when I got disconnected for a few years and I started getting messages externally, I didn't even know what was going on. I was kind of confused. But for some reason, it never seemed enough. But now that I'm reflecting on all the times that I was getting external confirmations, I realize how those were so powerful and they were guiding me the whole time also. For example, I wanted to start a channel, and it had to do with a lot of mindset shifting and how we're communicating, a lot of the body work, epigenetics, and all this stuff. And what I was discovering at that time, because of my fasting and the focus that I was putting into my body at that time. And so I was thinking of starting a channel, and I was thinking, it popped into my head that it would be called The Falcon's Eye. And then I realized, I'm like, I had a lot to work on in terms of my confidence and wanting to put myself out there and the exposure that it would go with. And I wasn't comfortable with that. And so, but nonetheless, I was getting a lot of guidance. I was seeing falcons all the time. They were circling, they came around me, extremely close. And it was just bombarded messages of like, we support your ideas. This could work. We can work with you with this. And for some reason, that those messages, even though they were so clear and they were just boom, 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 coming at me like crazy, for some reason it didn't feel like enough. It felt like I wanted what I wanted. I wanted to communicate the way that I knew, and the way that it felt like home. And the thing is, I think that part of the message was that I needed to feel home here. I needed to be able to bring home here and still feel like home is still here. I said that a few times right now, but I'm serious. So getting messages externally is really bringing home here on earth. And it's not just about always being internal, letting it be external. The noise on the candle. Anyway, so hopefully that this conversation helps you guys in some way. I mean, I started rambling there, but your big day, whatever it is that you've been getting guidance on, whatever it is that you've been receiving, external messages, internal messages, however it is that it's coming by you, just know that your day is coming. And whatever day that you are thinking or wanting in your life. Ooh. And dropping some of that pressure that you're putting on yourself of what it is supposed to look like or what you're supposed to get. I clearly see that you do see your 10 of cups. You do know what it is that you want. So getting any guidance or any external confirmation, sometimes it probably won't be as useful anymore as it probably was in the past. So what I'm getting here is this constant sword that you bring out every single time that maybe you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled. Something feels a little bit of empty. You're doing everything you got to do. You're looking at the higher perspective. You see your 10 of cups and you know what you're going towards, and you're going after it. And you are being really strong. You got a lot of strength. You're gonna keep going no matter what. So yeah, remind yourself that. Keep reminding yourself that, and reassuring yourself with this constructive thinking that this is gonna work out. You already know it. You believe it. It's just the waiting process. Maybe it's not fast enough for you. Because the Queen of Pentacles, like the Pentacles, are really slow. They could be really slow to come in for you. And or it's just you're just not in your feels lately because of something that's been hurting you. These last few weeks. So I think the most important thing here is making sure that you're doing a lot of self-love, a lot of soul healing, creating the time capsule. One of the things that I like to do is I created a space where I go and I talk to God, and it's like an internal space. I basically envisioned the space that I want to be in, the place that I feel like is home, and whatever that looks like to you internally, sit there and just be, you could create a space for God to be like, hey, this is a place where God could come to me and talk to me whenever he might feel like he needs to talk to me, even if I'm not there. I might feel that he's there, and then I'll just go over there and I'll go sit there with him and we can talk. And creating this little capsule, just like this card has here. In this space, you can create a time where you basically will just freeze time. What is a time capsule if not one of those little places that you throw in a bunch of memories, and you dig it in the ground and you seal it up, and then in the future you come back to it if you want, or somebody else might come back to it, and they find this capsule that's filled with memories, it's filled with whatever it is that you put inside a time capsule. It could be whatever it is that you want. They could be bad things, they could be good things, whatever you consider bad or good, whatever. Whatever it is that you want to seal up and bottle up or whatever, keep in mind that the self-talk is important. So if you were to put something in a time capsule, what would you choose to put in there? And what would you want to be able to reveal in the future? So it kind of goes with, like, right now, in the time when you take care of yourself, when you're meditating, when you go to talk to God, what do you bring to your prayers in the time that you're talking to God, that you would actually want to look back to and be like, oh, I remember that time I spent with him. What happened during that time? What was special during that time? What did you ask for? What did you learn? What did you experience? Did you have a heartfelt moment? Did you cry? Did you have a lesson that taught you a lot about your family, your friends, something that God told you, some truth? And so whatever it is, whatever communications you have, try to think about it like that. Like, what would I want to keep forever, and how do I bring about how do I bring about moments like that so that in the future I remember them? Anyway, so this is how I go about my self-reflection for the rest of the year. Something that I need to work on. And in this situation, I gotta work on making sure that I'm not icing myself, that I'm not, that I'm bringing in some love to myself, filling my cup up. And how am I not filling my cup up? That I can probably start some of the negative talk that maybe, oh, maybe it's gonna be so long till I get something, like this isn't gonna work, like, oh, like our life isn't so good right now. You know, things like that. If you start talking like that, it's probably because you're not feeling in your best. You haven't been filling that cup up. What have you not been doing? Have you been taking care of yourself physically? Have you been feeding yourself the good stuff that will make you feel good? Have you showered, brushed your teeth, and taken care of your hygiene and your physical appearance to the best of your ability that would make you feel fresh and clean and sparkly and energetic and ready to go, right? Have you given yourself the rest that you needed? Have you been over resting? Have you been pushing yourself to do some of the things that you don't want to do? In this case, I think it seems like you have, but when you don't have that sword, when your sword is backwards, oh, it is backwards. So when your sword is backwards, it means like you're not really, you could be using a lot of the negative self-talk. And so let's turn that over and bringing in this positive self-talk moving forward so that we can talk about the good, positive aspect of your ideas and your projects instead of the negative aspects. Like, you know, you're going to get it, but you're still being negative about it because it's either taking too long or it seems like it's a little far out of reach. And especially because it's in a future position in November. And so you're probably thinking, oh, I'm not even going to get it in November. And it seems like maybe something is going to come in November that is going to start showing itself. Because it's like you're not even seeing the negative side of the strength. You're not even fighting the demons anymore. In December, it seems like the negative self-talk is not going to be there. So you're going to be holding strong. You're going to be nurturing yourself and being kind to yourself. So anyway, I hope this is a nice reflection for you guys. Like I said, feel free to use your own cards. So thank you. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. I will be doing some spreads with questions for each card location, which will help. And this is going to be regarding all sorts of self-reflections. It could be romance, it could be your personal life development and your health, any relationships that you have, your environment. It could be about your job, anything that you're curious about. So I'm going to be doing a few spreads to help you out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm sending you guys a lot of love.